let's get this party started. I feel like the band is back together. Like, look at our girl group going strong here. I love it. Okay. So first of all, I want to bring some energy. I want to bring some vibe. I want to bring some, like, first of all, so many exciting announcements. Holy crap. I was just saying this before all of you popped on. It's like, it's about damn time. Oh, I just swore on video. Dang it. That now we can talk about the UK. Like, it's that secret that's been hiding around for about a year and a half. It's like, now it's finally released. It feels so good. Okay, so we'll just leave it there. But just what I was telling Sarah, you know, because Sarah was saying, well, she knows a doctor there. And it's like, you know what, start building those relationships. Start building. That's what it's all about. But don't make it, just like what Carl said, don't make it take your attention and your focus off of your business right here, because you cannot sign anybody until we actually launch. We just announced. So launch is not coming until this fall. So just a reminder, but build the relationships, do what you do in a networking business. And it's probably the best bet yet, meaning you're going to really dive into those relationships and really foster those relationships and be the best networker that you probably have ever been without ever selling. So this is actually a pretty great thing. Because it's going to be delayed gratification, satisfaction, because it's not coming until obviously later this fall. So with that being said, I'm really super excited. I'm super excited that you ladies get to now chat about that. But I will say, National Wake Up Call, 2 incredible leaders. Did you have a chance to listen to Moira and to Lauren? Like, these leaders were both at NLC. Like, this is what I love. They were both at New Leader Conference, right? So last year they advanced from past diamond or past 2-star diamond in their business. They were brand new coaches. Both of them now, I mean, Moira, a 9-star diamond, holy crap. And then Lauren, I want to say, is a 6-star diamond, advancing as well. So big things are happening, but just where they took it. I mean, I love the fact that Lauren said, be live, right? Did you ladies like take that? Like, okay, I need to be live more. Talk to me. You're all muted. Talk. Do you feel like, okay, I can do more live videos? And a lot of you I know already do, right? Okay, you're bobbing your heads. I just hate feeling like I'm talking to a wall. That's all. Like, I love
yeah. Sorry, Britt. I didn't hear it. I never hear it live. It's right when my kids are getting up and eating and stuff. But like, so meaning go live more. Like, that's what they were saying. Like, just do more live videos.
Yeah. So Lauren was specifically saying there's so many filters and we all look too perfect. But going live allows people to see your personality, see who you truly are, and they can see the mess and fall in love with you that direction. So yes, that was her biggest thing. Do you remember what Moira's biggest thing was? You may want to share.
Ready, go. Jimmy, how are you doing?
Anybody? Nobody?
I'm like Wendy, and I don't listen until I get off work on the way home with the podcast. So
no worries. I think her biggest vision and her biggest thing is know why you're doing this business, your vision, your direction, know why. Yep. Know your why and make sure that you're going after it. She looks at that every single morning. No, you're good, Serena. I mean, you are laying by the pool. Or no, you're just laying out front. I see your car in the background. That's so funny. I guess that's what you do in California. You sunbathe in your front driveway. I'm very jelly about that. So no, she's just talking about revisiting her why every single day. That's the reason why, she's not even a coach for 2 years now, 2 years this July. But she revisits it every single day. She knows her direction. She knows why she's going. And that's a personal, actually, testament to kind of what I have going on. I will share with you. I really dove into Brian Tracy's No Excuses, and his is write out your goals every single day. It was the same thing like when Wendy challenged me to, foster my goals and tell her what my goals were. And then all of a sudden now I'm writing them out every single day. And I will tell you, it has pulled me in a direction I need to go. That's all I'm going to say on this because, yeah, good things are fostering. Anyways, so let's kind of go into the next thing. Let's talk about Micah's Zoom. So how many of you were able to be on that one live? On Micah's? Many of you. Boo. Okay, I'll post a recording because I do have it. I wasn't here either. I was traveling back from being with Brooke in Arizona and with Sarah in Arizona. And so I will post that in our message thread here when we get done. But can we just open it up and talk about, like, what was your biggest takeaway with that call? For you that rose your hands, please unmute yourself. I will start unmuting you. Really?
Good.
Who was on it again?
Hi, Nicola.
Well, I had to take out my notes. That was like a while ago.
That was so last week. Oh, okay.
I know, but I've listened to so much PD and stuff since then, and like calls and stuff, that it's like hard to like go, okay, totally. What exactly did she talk about?
Totally.
I took notes.
Yes, you did. So was there any aha things that kind of stuck out to you? I mean, she's big on her time management. Like when it is work time, it's work time, right? And when it's baby time, it's baby time. And what else? Maybe this is a conversation we revisit, but then again, it's going to be 2 weeks and then you're going to watch it and forget again. Emily, do you remember anything that you?
I really love that she just said, I don't do anything fancy. She said that her team's hashtag was just do your crap, which I love because I think it's so easy to overcomplicate things and feel like we have to have the fancy graphics or do whatever. And I just love, it sounded like she's like, I just keep it very simple and I have my system and I plug and play. And I really loved how she described like her work time of like daytime hours. That's one thing that I struggle with I like nighttime I work the best because the kids are quiet, but my brain is dead. And so I feel like I'm just like, I'm showing up, but I would love, like that's goals to be able to work from 8 to 12 or 8 to 1 and kids are in school and she like gets all her work done then. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. So,
okay, perfect. No, thank you. And I mean, if you think about it, don't do anything fancy. She didn't show up to the call fancy. She showed up in her workout gear. Like, she's like, that. I know. I'm like, that is Micah to a T. Yeah. Sarah, did you thank you so much, Emily. I appreciate that, sweetie. Emily, Sarah, did you have anything that you wanted to share after looking at your notes, hun?
I just like how she just posts her life and she tries to tie everything into Beachbody and she posts to objections. She talked about live video as well.
Okay, I love that. It's super simple, sweet, to the point. Like I said, I will post that recording. And I'm still in the process of watching it too. You know, Doug at the beginning says it's going to be 30 minutes. It's over 50 minutes, but definitely something for you just to play in your ear and listen to. I would definitely say would be a great thing to put on your to-do list for this week, now that you don't have 8 billion things to put on that to-do list, right? But make sure you make the most of this week. I know it's Memorial Day weekend. We're going out with a bang and, you know, a lot of things are happening and whatnot, but make sure you put a couple of those things that are going to definitely move and drive your business forward, which would definitely be one of those. So the next topic I want to dive into, because I know many of you are in Carl's group. And so I want to go over, you know, like, first of all, I want to just say this, like, some of you chose, you know what, I'm focusing on my business activities, and whatever you chose, I loved you for where you were at and what you chose. Because I would definitely say, you know, that was a big commitment to take on. I've heard a lot of coaches, I will say this, you know, 7 out of my 8 calls last Tuesday, my coaches were like, to be honest with you, I'm so overwhelmed. I feel like I am not, like, I'm running at a faster pace and I'm definitely hitting big things within my business, but I don't feel like I'm hitting that big of a goal because other people are flying past me and they have goal of SC60 and whatnot, right? Perfect, Serena. So you understand. So I'm right here, and immediately, you know, Kevin Shaw and I, we both are managers and work with the same coaches, the 3 to 8 star diamonds. And so we took that information. We're like, you know what, let's go talk to Jeff Hill about this and let's just kind of dial this down. And I think the biggest thing is just a reminder that A, you signed up for this, that's it. But B, what are your goals? What is it that you're going after? And in this business, the hardest thing to do for us is to put on the blinders, you know, and really to focus on our business. I have so much respect for Serena, because she reached out to me. She said, you know what, I have so many things, and if I put myself in that area, it's going to pull me away from what I'm truly going after. And I love that, and I respect that, you know, because everybody's different, business is different. But I want to just ask you, and I will say, you know, a lot of my coaches are just taking Carl's content and using that using that to fuel their fire, but they're not getting mixed up in all the posts, the 8 billion posts that are going on every single day. And I think by doing that, it's separating them and not allowing them to not get overwhelmed. But with that being said, I just want to talk about the great takeaways. Like, what is it that you have heard within there? I've heard the donuts. So let's go kind of more into that. If somebody, you know, is like, I love the donuts. Deanna and Justin were talking about that when I jumped on a call with her and her husband. But what else? Brooke unmuted herself. So Brooke, go, hun.
Yeah. Carl posted in there something about, you know, when you do send out those donuts, those invites, and they say, you know, not right now, but thanks for the invite. So just kind of general, you know, they're saying not right now. He said to dig a little bit deeper as to why, you know, why that is, why it's not the best time. And so he said something like, you know, may I ask if there's any questions that you would have that would make you seriously consider this group? You know, we all reach our goals when there's more motivated people in the group, something like that. Or if you have something else that's really working for you, I'd love to hear about it. I always love to hear different ways to reach your health and fitness goals. Do you mind sharing? You know, just seeing if they have any questions to kind of squash their incorrect assumptions or their hesitancies.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, sweetie.
Yeah.
Who else wants to share?
I'll share.
Yeah.
I totally agree with like not letting yourself get overwhelmed, by the way, because I was feeling that too. And like when I did scroll through and read some posts, I was like I'm just not even in that realm. And it makes you feel bad about yourself. I'm like, okay, I just can't do that anymore because I don't want to feel that way. I want to take what I can get out of it. And so I just think that that's a good lesson. We talked about that a lot at our retreat this weekend, is like, there's so many shiny objects. Like there's this training, like you're always listening to training, but then you're like not doing anything because you're like constantly listening to training. So you have to like kind of narrow it down. And I think the donuts for me is what I've taken out of that group. That is like the number one biggest thing. Because it sets your day, it sets the tone for your day, and it takes the pressure of inviting. If you send 5 invites right away in the morning, as soon as you can, it just lifts this weight off of your shoulders, and you're starting conversations. And like, there's been sometimes like, I don't get to one other thing. And I'm like, okay, I did that at least, and I feel good about it, and I can continue those conversations. And I love that he's like today's post about like putting your heart into it, and like, just not looking at, we all feel the pressure for Success Club and Elite and these points, and we're like all working so hard and we want the financial rewards, but it's like, if we just strip that back and just talk to human beings and try to brighten their lives and do that for our families and like really get to the heart of things, then that's when, it takes off. And it just is so easy to get caught up in all the other stuff. And I feel it right now. Like you think after this retreat, I'd be in like the best place, but I'm actually like in a dark place this morning and I can't figure out why. But I'm just trying to like think about the human beings and the heart, really affecting people's lives. And I love hearing that stuff from him, because I think coming from the corporate world, it was always like more, like just whatever it takes, work harder, work longer, whatever. That's the corporate world. And I just love, it's like focus on the people and be like, engaged and really truly try to help them. And I just think coming from a CEO, that's just so powerful. And like, oh, it really is this good. This company really is this good. It's just like, because sometimes it's like, could it be like, I know you say that, Carl, but you really like want us just to bust our balls harder, right? And you really get the vibe that it's not that way. And it's just refreshing. So.
Can I ask you a question, Wendy? And so keep yourself off mute for just a minute if you don't mind. I loved when your coach Tammy, the donuts completely overwhelmed her, right? And she's like,
she's gonna quit.
She's like,
I'm just gonna quit.
Yeah. So will you explain that? Because I love how you explained how you took that. Like, it wasn't new invites, right? But right. how she overcame that as well. Will you talk about that, please?
Yeah. So I'm sharing every post in the smaller group. I've just asked people who wanted to be in a group that I'm calling Search to Summit, just on my team. So I posted the thing about the donuts, and like I come from like a sales background. So I mean, I was cold calling for hours a day, business to business development. So it was hard at first, but I'm pretty used to that. But she is like totally not. Like if you say sales in front of her, she like, but she's like she's my top coach. But anyway, so I posted about the donuts, and she was like, this just makes me feel gross. This makes me feel icky. And I'm just like, if you're just speaking genuinely to someone, how in the video, Carl says, send 5 invites to people who aren't expecting it. Well, in her mind, it was to like random people. Like it was like to, and I was like, no, it's the people and it's not like, hey, good morning at 5 a.m., join my team. It's like how you speak to people. But she could not, like, no matter what I said, she did not get it. So she sent out one cold invite to a girl she hadn't talked to. She had a relationship with her, but she just invited her. Well, the girl gave her a thumbs down, like just the emoji, I guess. And she's like, see, this is why I don't do it. But like she was looking to fail. Like, you know what I mean? It was like she wanted to prove to me, like, this does not work. So she was like about to quit. She was like, I'm not doing this. If this is part of what we have to do, I'm not doing it. I'm like, well, then don't do it. Like, if that makes you that uncomfortable, like, don't do it. But she talked to Mary Day, who's her corporate mentor. You don't want to do this, but what can you do? So she's like, well, instead of sending 10 connects a day, I'll send 20. Well, then it came out in our retreat. She's doing the same exact thing that I'm doing. I have a relationship with everyone I invite. I'm not just sending like, hey, I just friend requested you. Hey, you want to join my team? Like, it's just, so I said to her, I'm like, is that what you think I'm doing? Just like these random stupid things? I'm like, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. I have a relationship. I genuinely am asking people I think would be amazing, that I love, that I want to be a part of this. I just have never asked them before. So that's where like the cold prep comes in. So I don't know if that hit what you wanted me to hit, Brittany, but
no, it was perfect. It was perfect because it also made you, and you didn't say this, but it made her to reach out to one of your challengers or a gal that you've been working with for a very, very long time. So it's those relationships that you've already built, but it's taken it one step further. So no, thank you, Wendy. But just being there, and I mean, literally, Tammy's like was so passionate, like, no, like completely, like, I am not doing this. And that's how most coaches are, you know? So I love just that kind of, you know, reconnecting and really engaging in the conversation that you've already built in the relationship. So thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it. All right. Who wants to go next within that group? Or what have you heard? Because if you haven't been in, yeah, Amalia, go, please.
I wanted to add that I really struggle with comparisitis, and I actually posted on the group just because you see all these things happening with other people, but you don't know what's going on in the background, you know, and so it's hard to judge your success versus somebody else. And so I've gotten a lot better, which is surprising for me being a part of the group, but I also don't scroll through things. And I realized that I'm only going to take nuggets that I want to apply into my business. And I'm going to completely shut everything else off. Sometimes I don't even read Carl's posts. I mean, I just like, okay, what can I apply to the business? It's passing on to my team. What stuck with me was actually the Micah's call, I just remembered. And then Jatana Jackson, I think, when she was talking about that heart post that she did. And both of them were talking about, I don't have time for all these masses of people, you know, to go through. And it hit me because when I had a birthday, and after each and every birthday, I actually sent personal thank yous and started building a relationship with people. And I ended up with 300 and some. And guys, it took me a week. And I realized how overwhelming it was for me just to take that first step. And then I would sit 5 hours per day trying to build that relationship, so everything else went on the back burner. And then I started hearing my coaches saying, but I have 2 kids. I cannot speak to 20 people. And then those 20 people follow-ups plus 20 more people. I just don't have time. And what I realized was that the higher we go as we grow as coaches, we're not using the tools that we should be using. And I'm talking about myself. And the tools I mean is if you need to hire somebody to make posts in your challenge group, to schedule posts, like Chalene Johnson says, delegate or die. You're going to spend 2 hours scheduling your group, or you're going to invite for 2 hours, which is going to build a business. And then the next one is, it's like, if you have a wash machine in the house, but we refuse to use a washing machine, we wash by hand, I would really do ourselves a favor, you know, to washing it by hand and stressing ourselves out. Because like Jatana said, she said, I don't have time to sit there and, you know, reach out to all these people. But she's built a solid foundation doing so, and now she's reaping the benefits because now people know her story, blah, 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 and now she does the group thing. And the same Micah said, you know, I built up to that. And so my new coaches often wonder, I can't keep up. I have the team then, star diamonds, team calls, yada, yada. How do you do that? And I said, well, this is my revelation after being in all these groups. Why don't you use the tools? There are tools. Take your kids to daycare, be on the time frame, and then you spend $20, sell a challenge pack to pay for the daycare, and that will push you forward. Or for instance, Like Page, it's really, you know, going right now. Why don't you spend 5 months busting your butt working on the Like Page and create your tribe, and then use that tool to grow 60 points a month? I mean, we can't expect to invite 5 people and have 60 points. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And so when I started to realize all these things, by being in that group, it's like I have all these tools at my fingertips and I was not using them. And so I'm just kind of using the old system. But as you use old system, doing little things, as you grow, you progress. And so the group has kind of opened my eyes on that. And I stopped comparing myself to everybody else. And it's like, I don't care. I'll just grow my thing. And then out of that will be the progress. So that's what I learned.
No, I love that. And Wendy had a great question. She said, so you're saying invest, is that right? Invest in the tools that help and the time to reap the benefits later.
Exactly. A lot of times, like Chalene Johnson did her Smart Success, and she says, I went out in the middle of the night and I was crying because I was, you know, the accountant, I was the plumber, I was all these things. And in the end, I was not building my business. And so one of my coaches said, I cannot do what you do. I have 2 kids. and I have to drive them. And I said, I can't do what I do either. And I have another business to grow. So, and I said, and she's like, oh my gosh, I have a dish. When I moved to the US, I had a dishwasher and I refused to use it because I grew up without a dishwasher. And I said, well, now relate that to your business. Now you have, let's say, a tool to go and hire an assistant on whatever, the Elance or whatever, to schedule all your groups. That's like 6 hours per week. She's like, oh. And while doing so, it helped me realize that, you know, top coaches do exact same thing as we do. They just use the tools to help them. And the tools are advanced. I mean, Facebook is such a huge thing now in UK. So.
Totally. Thank you so much. And you said a couple key things I want you to remind yourself or remember.
I know.
Is when you find what works within your business, keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore. And I'm the firm believer in that. Yes, we can listen to the National Wake Up Call. We can listen to all these bright, shiny objects. And that's the problem with the comparisitis. I love that you make that word, because you will compare. And you're like, oh, they're successful, I need to do that. No, stop. Like, literally, I had all my coaches last week take out a piece of paper, write a line down it, right? I told Deanna and Justin this. It's like, what did you do that is progressing your business forward? Like, what is working for you? Now write out that. Now, what is not working? Get rid of the not working. And literally, it will, whatever it took you to diamond to 1 star, 1 star to 2, so on and so forth, will take you forward. I'm going to call Brooke out because I was with her last week on the 11th when she actually hit 5-star diamond, and it was crazy because, I mean, her story, and I know she's not here, but she's here. I just only see her picture, but you know, she was at 1-star diamond for a year and a half, and it was a very surreal moment for me to be able to sit down and say, okay, girlfriend, we're celebrating 5-star diamond today. Like, but what was it that took you from 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, and now to 5? And she literally said to me, Britt, I just used my personal development and I finally applied it. Like, that's all it was. Like, she was doing the same things within her business, right? But she finally was having that belief. Brooke, do you want to add anything more onto that? Because I totally just called you out. Your story.
Yeah, no, that was it. And just staying consistent, and those people just start popping. And I'm a recruiting machine, and I focus on those who want to run with this. And yeah, that's about it. I try not to overcomplicate.
No, perfect. I love that. But literally, it's like, start applying your personal development, start applying the belief. And at Wendy's, you know, Diamond Retreat, she did it here up in the mountains in Utah. And it was so fun to be able to go to that. But literally, it's what I said. It's like, start applying your personal development, start having the belief, because what I noticed with all your coaches in these lower ranks, you know, that are struggling to get to diamond or struggling to stay at diamond or whatever it may be, it's the belief. And whatever you can do to really foster that love and self-care, and that they deserve this, you know, that is going to be the most valuable thing that you can do for your team, because without it, they will never be able to grow and progress past where they're at. Okay.
Yeah, and I actually put a lot of personal development to my challenge groups now, and so I start that foundation for them right away. So by the time they become a coach, they already are doing the vital behavior. It's nothing new.
Beautiful nugget. Write that one down if you don't do it. I love that. Thank you, Brooke. Anything else you want to add on that?
Me?
Yeah.
Talking about personal development and using little nuggets you get from your personal development into your social media posts and storytelling based off of one of your nuggets that you can relate to in your reading or a podcast. That's been really helpful in my social media posts, just to help motivate and inspire people, and also be able to sprinkle my story in there at the same time.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw this over to Deanna now, because I want to ask you. We're going to shine some light on you, my dear, since there's no light in that room. Hey, what would you say your biggest takeaway from Carl's group is?
Well, I tend to, in the beginning, I'll admit it was a little intimidating, right? But then, you know, because when people are hitting these big numbers and things, and I'm like, gosh, you know, I work full time, I do all these things. Of course they have all this time to do all this stuff, you know, but then I realized, like, we're on our own journey. And at the end of the day, we're all people. So I don't like saying, oh, superstar coaches and stuff like that, because we're all just human. We're all on our own journey. And so getting in that comparison trap, because I'm totally not I'm not competitive against anybody. So that does not fuel my fire. I don't have to be better than anybody. I just kind of want to get out of my job. But I really love the community. Like, there's so many amazing, amazing coaches that are willing to share their nuggets that I've actually just, like I shared with my coach today. I'm like, I'm just throwing a bunch of crap on the wall and seeing what sticks, because they're providing such amazing, amazing content that I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to run with it. Instead of making sure everything's perfect, I'm just going to run with it. So like that post that Jatana shared about the heart post, I'm just like, okay, I applied it that afternoon. I put up a group that evening, and, you know, I helped 5 people the next morning, just by like trying it, you know. And I think fear of maybe it won't work would hold me back. And so I love that there's so many just amazing, amazing tools. And I just love the heart and really the culture of what I promote in my small team, that we're really here to help one another. It's not like we're not hiding anything, you know. And I love that you know, Carl's group is really, really, really creating that culture.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Serena, to answer your question, it's the heart post. If you could lose, you know, 5 pounds, like with the colored heart, that's the heart post that has gone like viral. Great question. Yep. I knew you knew what it was. It's like we've seen it 8 billion times, right? And if you haven't used it, use it. Try it. I have coaches that are getting 100 conversations from it. You know, like literally try it. And just like what you said, Deanna, and I thank you so much for speaking, is like literally try all those nuggets, see what works. Like the fact that you were able to help 5 people and have those conversations, that's a big deal. It's a huge deal. So thank you. Is there anybody else that wants to share about any other little nuggets? I thought everyone was copying each other. They are. But yeah, you got it. Is there anything else that you ladies want to say? Yes, Amalia, go.
Just quickly, you guys, don't let stress get to you. And it's gonna kill you. Literally gonna kill you, mentally and physically. I've been under stress for 1.5 years, and finally the stress went away. Brittany knows what I'm talking about. In our second business, and we had a breakthrough. And I actually got sick for 3 days. It finally caught up to me. And my Beachbody business was hindered by all that stress that I put on myself. Nobody was putting it on to me. I knew it was going to work out, but we don't know when. And so the stress will be in your post, in the way you talk to people, in the way you look, in the way everything. And so I got sick. I'm just getting over it after all that pressure. And so we don't even know how it's going to hit us hard. So guys, don't stress out. It's hard to say, but when things seem like they're crumbling, they're always going to work out. And looking back, it's like, oh my God, this was terrible. But at the same time, no matter what it is, it's all going to work out. And don't get sick and don't get stressed. It's just keep on doing the PD. And that, learning my lesson, it was definitely a great thing to not have anymore.
But I can tell you have light in your eyes. I can tell by the smile on your face too. So no, that's amazing, Serena. And exercise, yes. Even if you're too intense and Shalene tells you you're too intense, take it as a compliment. I just think yes, it's recording. You just flipped it off. I love it. But maybe it's a sassy new haircut. Like literally like Sass or McSass. Love it. Okay, ladies. Is there anything else that you want to share? Is there anything else? Like, you know, we have just a couple minutes left, but if there's anything, I hear somebody, Wendy, did you want to share?
I don't want to share, but I want to ask Brooke, because I know like we've been like totally pummeling you, Brooke, but so you're talking about like recruiting, and I mean you guys, I'm not looking for a secret sauce or anything. We're far enough along. We know what to do, but is there anything that you feel like has helped? Like, so I'm trying not to compare myself, but I'll just say quickly, like, so I've been doing the donuts every day, and I've invited like over 40 people to the coaching opportunity since Carl's group started, and I've signed 1 coach. And I know that stuff will come down the road, so I'm not saying that. But I'm just curious, like, if there's anything like you've switched up that's helped you in recruiting or that you find helpful.
Yeah, I had my mouth full of food, so I'm like, oh, keep talking. Yeah, you know what? Like, before I was really bad at transitioning and making it more available for people to transition from group to group. Because what I found is, you know, ideally it'd be nice for every person in our challenge group to be like, yeah, I'm ready to coach, and just start after their first challenge group. But it's just not realistic for some people. And so I really, at the end of my challenge groups, make it known, like, here's your options. Option 1, you do it on your own. Option 2, you continue with us. Here's the group link to continue to the next group. Option 3, start as a coach, you know, and that way they're constantly transitioning to the new group. And so I'm getting a lot of veterans and a lot of newbies. And so the energy stays really, really high. There's a lot of engagement versus just all newbies. And that really increases the confidence for the veterans, which then gets them into coaching. Like, I can honestly say that
I can project that a lot of my people will eventually coach no matter how long it's going to take. Like, I just have that confidence that I know it's going to happen. And just confidently inviting them instead of like just asking, you know, have you considered? It's like, no, girl, you need to be a coach on my team, you know, based on A, B, C, whatever their personality type is, if they've been engaging in the group really well, like whatever it is that you see as good qualities to bring out in them, and be like, is this something you'd be open to learning more about? Just, I've really found that just changing the wording has really helped in speaking with confidence.
Thank you. I love that. I totally agree. And I think that it is helping to just be like, and we talked about it at the retreat too, Brittany, you to confidently invite, like, girl, I see what you're doing in this group. You have to become a coach. Like, you just, that's just what you have to do. I love that. I agree.
Yes. Yep.
And thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Deanna had a great question. So who uses the app versus Facebook for their groups? So how many of you, raise a hand, still use Facebook? Okay, Brooke, is your hand up? Raised hand. Thank you for raising your. Okay, perfect. Who only uses the app? Deanna. Okay, so only uses that. So my question for you is, Deanna, is are you still getting the engagement? Because this is what I've seen is that people have gone so far away from Facebook, but then they're like, okay, the app, it's hard as far as the engagement goes unless you do like a call to action post, right? Make everybody post within that. But I will say, Ashley Molster, do you remember me releasing that call or having you guys see that? Do you remember that? Did you see that? Did I post that? I'm on it. She actually did it in our 6 and 7 Star Diamond group. She talked about her challenge groups and literally still has, I mean, and this is what the majority of the coaches are doing. So I'm just going to tell you that. Is the app great? Absolutely. I would still hands down give it to your challengers an option to definitely track it. But if you think about it, it's obviously for you to see, but also for their personal gain. Like then they can check off like what they're doing, right? But if you're having a hard time with the engagement, they are still doing, you know, the prep week or the entire thing within Facebook and then having them use the app for themselves solely. So that's what I've heard that they're kind of going back to. I've also heard Jalen Barnes, Jalen Lovell, whatever she wants to go by. She literally does everything within the app and does the engagement post within it, and then everybody has to post within it. So I would say, is it working for you, Deanna? Like, or do you feel like the engagement's there?
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of call to action posts to try to get engagement. I noticed that there's not as much engagement, you know, as there was in Facebook, but I just try, I guess maybe I'm just a rule follower. And so I'm like, well, if Beachbody is going to go in that direction, clearly they've, you know, there's a support. And from a coach perspective, it allows me to kind of be able to more make sure that I'm making sure everybody's doing what they need to do. And then it also allows me to try, well, what I've been doing is like, you know, people that are potential rockstar coaches, you know, I'm like, hey, can you go and give this person some love? You know, she's been struggling and things like that. And so I find that really helps it keeps everything more organized, but then, yeah, the engagement isn't the same, but then people really like that, being able to check mark, you know, like I said, a rule follower. So I like to write stuff off or check mark stuff off. And a lot of my challengers are kind of the same way. So they like the app for that. But yeah, I do notice a decrease in engagement. So I was just really curious how everybody was doing that.
Totally. And it will obviously take more time for you to upload a video, whatnot. But if you're trying to find ways to make that happen, I will post these 2 calls. I really highly suggest that you re-listen to or listen to Micah Folsom's and then Ashley Molstead. I apologize. I thought that I posted that in here, but, and she does it on her challenge groups, but I feel like if you can give them options, and I think also we think, well, we don't want to put them in a Facebook group. We don't want to put them also in the app. It's too much. Keep in mind, this is probably the only things that they're part of. It's not that much. You know what I mean? So don't overcomplicate it. But I will send that video to you. But if your thing is working, awesome. If you need to upload more videos, awesome. I guess the hardest thing that my coaches are noticing is the opportunity to go live and interact more. And that's why they're doing it. So just kind of see what's going to work for you. I would never push you away from it because the app is absolutely incredible. And it will keep them on track. It'll keep them engaged with themselves personally. But also think about the community. What are you trying to build and is it allowing that? So, but I'll share that. Well, we only have a minute or 2 left. I know Serena did say that she has a video from her coaches called Group. Let me see if that says anything. Group to Coach the Organic Way. I love it. Yes, please share within our actual page. So other than that, ladies, thank you. Thank you for popping on. Wendy, do you feel better? Okay.
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
Good. I think it's just the community coming together. This is a hard business, but the whole thing about it, ladies, do it together. Come together, love on each other where you're at, and you'll all do your business polar opposite, but doesn't mean that you're not moving in the same direction of wanting to really help more people and your coaches. So with that being said, we'll talk in 2 weeks. I will post those 2 calls. You'll be getting a message from me. Okay. Hands down. That's what it is. All right. Anything else? I don't think so. Right? Okay. Love you a long time as always. And I'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Britt.
You're welcome, ladies. Bye.